The war was almost over. The alien alliance stood victorious among the stars. Their fleets filled the dark space like shining metal gods. To them, defeat was impossible now. For years, they had crushed every world that stood in their way. Civilizations burned, fleets shattered, and hope disappeared. No enemy had survived their advance. Inside the alien command ship, the mood was calm and confident. Commanders watched the battle screens without fear. They spoke of victory as if it was already history. Then a signal appeared. It was weak, broken, and old. A simple distress call, repeating again and again. An SOS drifting through deep space. The alien officers laughed at first. Who would still ask for help at the end of a lost war? Who would answer now? The signal came from a distant system. A system marked with warning signs. A planet listed as hostile to life. The alien database showed clear facts. Extreme gravity, violent storms, dangerous creatures, constant conflict among its own species. No advanced civilization should have survived there. No spacefaring empire should have risen from such a world. The commanders dismissed it as meaningless noise. A dying species calling into the void, but the signal did not stop. It grew stronger, clearer, more focused. The SOS was not begging. It was steady, controlled. That made the command room quiet. Sensors suddenly detected movement in deep space. At first, it looked like an error. Numbers climbed beyond expected limits. One ship, then 10, then hundreds. The system struggled to calculate the size of what was coming. Alien officers stared at the screens in silence. This was not possible. No known species could build fleets this large. Not this fast. Not from a death world. The alien commander leaned forward, his voice sharp and serious now. He demanded a full scan. Long-range sensors pushed to maximum power. The space beyond the stars shifted. Dark shapes emerged from hyperspace, one after another. Massive warships, heavily armored, built for battle. They did not spread out. They moved with purpose, like soldiers who had trained together for a long time. The fleet formation was tight and disciplined, not chaotic, not fearful. This was not a rescue force. This was an armada. The alien officers felt something new. Uncertainty. They searched the ships for identity markers, for known symbols, for familiar technology. There were none. The ship designs were rough but powerful, built to survive punishment, built to keep fighting. Energy readings spiked across the alien command deck. Weapon systems came online across the unknown fleet. Still, no attack came. Instead, the SOS signal stopped. Silence filled the space between both forces. The alien commander realized the truth too late. The signal was never a cry for help. It was a call to arms. These Deathworlders were not weak survivors. They were warriors shaped by a cruel planet. The fleet slowed and took position, blocking every escape route. The alien commander whispered words he never thought he would say. They have answered the call, and in that moment, the galaxy changed forever. The alien command room stayed silent. Screens showed the massive fleet holding position. No movement, no attack. The alien commanders tried to regain control. They reminded themselves who they were. They were the conquerors of worlds, the rulers of the stars. One officer broke the silence. He spoke about the Death World again. Trying to calm the room, he said the records were clear. Death World species were unstable, violent, self-destructive. Their planets were too harsh, too dangerous. Life there was always a struggle. Creatures fought to survive every day. Weather itself tried to kill them. Gravity crushed the weak. No species from such a world could become advanced. That was the belief of the galaxy. Another officer pulled up the data. The Death World called Earth. Its dominant species called humans. The history logs showed endless wars. Nations fighting nations. Groups fighting each other. The aliens laughed again. How could such a divided species unite? How could they build such a fleet? Humans were labeled unpredictable, emotional, primitive. They used old technology mixed with dangerous ideas. They tested weapons on their own world. They survived disasters that should have ended them. To the aliens, humans were only survivors, not conquerors, not protectors. But as the data scrolled, something felt wrong. Every time humans faced extinction, they adapted. They learned. Every defeat made them stronger. Every loss made them smarter. The alien commander watched quietly, his eyes focused on one detail: human population numbers. Despite wars, despite disasters, they always recovered. Another officer pointed to human military history. Short brutal wars, then long preparation. Humans did not forget their enemies. They remembered. They prepared. The alien fleet sensors continued to struggle. Human ships were blocking scans. Their hulls absorbed energy instead of reflecting it. This was not elegant technology. This was survival technology. The alien commander finally spoke, his voice low. He said Deathworlders were dangerous not because they were strong, but because they were used to suffering. Humans evolved on a planet that never forgave mistakes. Only the toughest survived. The room grew quiet again. A sudden transmission request appeared. Not aggressive, not urgent, just calm. The source was the human fleet. Alien officers hesitated. No Deathworld species had ever requested peaceful contact during war. The commander allowed the channel to open. For a moment, there was only static. Then, a human voice came through. Clear, steady, no anger, no fear. The voice identified them as human command. They stated they had received the SOS. No threats were made. No demands were spoken. The aliens felt uneasy. This was not how weak species behaved. The human fleet did not move. They waited. The alien commander realized something terrifying. Humans were not here to prove themselves. They were here because they were called. The myth of Deathworlders, as mindless survivors, began to crack. These were beings who lived on a world that tried to kill them every day, and they had learned how to fight back. As the transmission ended, the commander understood one truth. If these humans decided to fight, this war would no longer follow alien rules, and the galaxy was not ready for that. The space between the two fleets felt heavy. Both sides waited. Stars burned silently in the distance. The alien armada held position, weapons charged, shields raised. They expected threats. They expected fear. They expected anger, but none of it came from the human fleet. A single transmission moved forward, not forced, not rushed. The alien commander watched the signal carefully. This was the first true contact. He allowed the channel to open fully. The screen flickered, then stabilized. A human officer appeared, wearing simple armor, no bright symbols, no signs of rank made from gold. The human stood straight, eyes calm, breathing steady. This alone shocked the aliens. Most species showed fear during first contact in war. Humans did not. The human officer spoke. The voice was clear and controlled. We heard the call. We came. That was all. No threats followed. No demands were added. The alien command room filled with quiet confusion. This was not how weak species spoke. The alien commander responded carefully. He demanded to know why humans had entered an active war zone. The human officer did not hesitate. Our allies asked for help. We answer such calls. The alien officers exchanged looks. Allies. The dying worlds were not listed as human allies. The commander questioned this claim. The humans had no treaties on record, no known influence in this region. The human officer replied calmly. They were alive. That was enough. This answer disturbed the room. Wars were fought for power, for resources, for control, not for strangers. Alien sensors suddenly sounded alerts. Human ships were moving, slowly, deliberately. They did not rush forward. They did not scatter. Instead, the human fleet began to spread out, forming a wide arc, closing space. The alien tactical officers reacted immediately. They called out warnings. They adjusted firing angles. But the human ships continued. Perfect timing, perfect spacing. Within moments, the alien armada realized the truth. They were being surrounded. Every possible escape path began to close. Not fast, not violently, but with certainty. The alien commander demanded the humans stop. He warned them of destruction. The human officer listened, then answered with the same calm voice. We are not here to threaten you. That response made no sense. The alien commander shouted, if not to threaten, then why come with so many warships? The human officer paused, then spoke again. We came to end this. Those words sent fear through the alien command deck. Not loud fear, but deep fear. Human ships locked into final positions, weapons systems fully online. Alien scans showed something worse. Human ships carried damage before battle. Scars, burn marks. These ships had already survived wars. The alien commander understood too late. Humans were not testing strength. They already knew it. This fleet was not built to scare enemies. It was built to finish fights. The human officer delivered the final message. This space is now closed. The transmission ended. Silence returned. The alien armada stood trapped, surrounded by Deathworlders who showed no fear. For the first time in the war, the alien commander felt something unfamiliar. Doubt, and deep within that doubt, A growing realization: they had not summoned prey. They had summoned predators. The first shots of the battle lit up space. Alien weapons fired in perfect patterns. Bright energy beams crossed the dark void. The alien commanders believed in their technology. Their weapons were precise, fast, deadly. Human ships did not dodge like others. They moved forward, straight into the fire. Alien officers shouted in shock. No sane fleet would advance like this. Energy beams struck human hulls. Explosions flashed. Armor burned. But the human ships did not break. They absorbed the damage. They kept moving. The alien targeting systems adjusted, focusing on critical points, engines, weapon cores. Human ships responded instantly, not with clean energy beams, but with heavy projectiles. Metal slugs, launched at extreme speed, pulled by gravity weapons. Too fast to track, alien shields flared. Some failed immediately. Ships were torn open, not burned, but crushed. The aliens had never faced this kind of attack. This was not elegant war. This was brutal survival. Human ships closed the distance, ignoring damage, accepting losses. Alien commanders screamed orders: retreat, reform, counterattack. But space itself seemed to betray them. Human gravity fields twisted movement, pulling alien ships off course. Smaller human craft launched from the larger ships, fast, armored, built for close combat. They slipped through shield gaps, targeted weak points, then vanished. Alien ships exploded one by one. The Armada's perfect formation shattered. The alien flagship took direct hits. Its shields collapsed. Hull integrity dropped rapidly. Inside the flagship, alarms screamed. Smoke-filled corridors. Crew struggled to survive. The alien commander watched the destruction in disbelief. Humans were still advancing. Sensors showed something terrifying. Human ships continued fighting even after heavy damage. Some were missing entire sections. Any other species would have retreated. Humans pushed harder. An officer finally understood the truth. On a death world, pain did not mean death. Damage did not mean defeat. Human weapons changed patterns suddenly, adapting mid-battle, learning. Alien ships could not keep up. Their tactics were predictable, their systems overloaded. The human fleet fought like a living thing, each unit supporting the others, covering weaknesses. The alien commander felt fear take control. This was not a battle for territory. Humans were not here to win. They were here to erase the threat. A human transmission cut through the chaos, calm, unshaken. This is what survival looks like. The alien flagship shuddered under another impact. Systems failed one by one. The commander realized the final truth. These Deathworlders had turned suffering into a weapon, and the galaxy had never seen such a force before. The battlefield was filled with broken ships. Metal and fire drifted through space. The alien armada was collapsing. Formations shattered. Orders lost in chaos. Alien commanders shouted retreat commands. They tried to save what remained. Human ships did not slow down. They pushed forward, relentless. Damaged human vessels stayed in formation, engines burning, hull plates torn away. They refused to fall back. They refused to stop. Alien escape routes began to close. One by one, human ships moved to block them. Silent, precise. The alien commander realized retreat was impossible. Every path was controlled. A surrender signal was prepared, something the Alliance rarely used. Alien officers hesitated. Pride fought against survival. Another alien ship exploded nearby. The decision was made. The surrender signal was sent, broadcast across all channels. The alien commander waited, expecting mercy, expecting negotiation. The human response came quickly, cold, clear. We decide who survives now. Whose words crushed what hope remained. The alien crew felt true fear. Human ships continued advancing, weapons still charged. The aliens expected immediate destruction, but it did not come. Human weapons powered down slowly, one system at a time. The human fleet held position, control complete. A final human message followed, calm as before. You attacked worlds that could not defend themselves. You ignored their calls for help. The message continued, on our world, survival is not luck, it is training. The alien commander understood. Humans did not seek revenge. They enforced consequences. Human boarding ships launched, not rushed, organized. They moved toward alien vessels, securing weapons, saving survivors. Some aliens expected cruelty. They found discipline instead. Wounded aliens were treated. Prisoners were secured. This confused the alien crews more than violence. The battlefield grew quiet. Only damaged ships remained. The alien armada that once ruled the region was broken, not destroyed by superior technology, but by superior endurance. The human fleet still stood strong, scarred, unyielding. The alien commander looked at the human ships one last time and knew the truth. This armada refused to fall because falling was not an option, and the war was no longer theirs to control. The battle was over. Silence returned to the stars. Wreckage floated slowly where great fleets once ruled. The alien armada was gone. Human ships remained, damaged, scarred, but standing. Rescue craft moved carefully through the debris, collecting survivors, both human and alien. The alien commander was escorted to a secure chamber, not in chains, not beaten. He expected hatred. He found calm. Through the viewport, he watched human crews work. They repaired ships, treated the wounded, recovered the lost. This confused him more than the battle. A human command officer entered the chamber. Simple uniform, tired eyes. The officer spoke without anger. The war here is finished. The alien commander asked the question that haunted him. Why? Answered the SOS. Why risk everything for worlds that were not theirs? The human officer paused, then answered. Because one day, we were the ones calling, and no one came. Those words struck harder than any weapon across the galaxy. The news spread. Fast, the alien alliance had fallen, stopped by Deathworlders. Worlds that once lived in fear began to breathe again. Trade routes reopened, borders stabilized. Many species tried to understand humans. They searched for hidden motives, secret plans. They found none. Human fleets did not conquer new territory. They did not demand tribute. Instead, they sent a single message to every major power, clear and simple. If you hear a call for help, you answer it. The galaxy listened. The term Deathworlder slowly changed meaning. No longer a warning, but a reminder. Humans were not the strongest species. They were not the most advanced. They were the most persistent on their world. Survival was earned every day. Pain was a teacher. Failure was a lesson. That mindset followed them to the stars. The alien commander was later released, allowed to return home. He carried no hatred, only understanding. He warned his people and others like them. Never ignore a human signal. Never test a death resolve. Years later, new explorers would pass through the system. They would see memorial beacons floating in space. Simple human words engraved in many languages. We came because you called. The galaxy learned a new rule that day. Power was not about domination. It was about responsibility. Humans did not seek war, but they never ran from it. And when the next sass echoed through the void, no one laughed. No one ignored it. Because somewhere in the darkness, Deathworlders were listening, and they always answered.